William, are we on? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Sarah. The little red light is on. We're recording. Welcome, everyone, to the archive.
Right. Okay. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm William. And this is the follow-up we never thought we'd have to make.
A few months ago, we shared a story about a place called the Whispering Library. For those who haven't heard it, consider yourselves lucky. It was a story about stories, about a silence that fed on them.
We solved that mystery, or so we thought. We left that place behind us. We tried to get back to our normal lives, our normal research.
But it turns out some doors, once opened, don't stay closed. Our research, it led us somewhere new, somewhere just as impossible. This isn't about books this time.
It's about time itself, and a clockmaker with a terrible secret.
It started with a name in a margin. While we were cross-referencing some of the more obscure town records from the Whispering Library period, William found a loose slip of paper.
It wasn't a library document. It was a receipt for the repair of a grand complication long case regulator, dated 1899, signed by the craftsman Alistair Cresswell, horologist, 17 Verity Lane.
The date was exactly 1 week before the first hunger entry in the Oldfield ledger. We thought it was a coincidence, a fun bit of historical ephemera, but then
we started finding his name elsewhere. In the diary of Oldfield's last mayor, scribbled next to a meeting time, consult Cresswell we the regulator. Can it be adjusted? In a shipping ledger, 1 crate, delicate mechanisms to A. Cresswell. It was a thread.
So we pulled it. We're researchers. It's what we do. We looked up Alistair Cresswell. He was a famed, secretive clockmaker in the city. He died just last month, and his estate was still in probate.
We made an appointment with the executor. We told ourselves it was just historical curiosity to see if he had any papers, any connection to Oldfield we could document.
Finn, slow down. My feet are killing me. Since when do you walk this fast?
I can hear you, Sarah. The little red light is on. We're recording. The appointment is for 3 p.m. sharp. Punctuality is the courtesy of kings, or in this case, the courtesy of people about to inherit a dusty old shop from a great uncle they never met.
It's 2:55, and it's just a lawyer's office. It's not like Uncle Alistair is going to rise from the grave to scold us, though with the stories my mom told, I wouldn't put it past him.
Can I help you?
Yes, we have an appointment with Mr. Thorne, Finn and Leo Cresswell. Ah, yes, the Cresswell twins. He's expecting you. Go right in, last door on the left. Right on time. Excellent. Please, sit. I am Edwin Thorne, executor of the late Alistair Cresswell's estate. My condolences on your loss. Thank you, though it's a bit abstract. We met him once at a family funeral when we were 7. He pinched both our cheeks and told us we were unbalanced. Charming man.
Leo, manners. What Mr. Thorne means is that we are aware we were not close. The inheritance is unexpected. Not unexpected to him. Your great-uncle was a meticulous man, a horologist of some renown. He left very specific instructions. The entirety of his estate, comprising his personal residence and place of business at 17 Verity Lane, along with all its contents, passes jointly to the 2 of you.
A shop? We live in a flat above a kebab shop. We're graphic designers. We don't know anything about clocks.
What are the conditions?
Astute.
There is one condition. You must take possession in person, both of you. You must enter the shop together, and you must remain on the premises for a minimum of 1 full night. Tonight.
You joking? A spend the night in the haunted clock shop clause? Is this a prank?
Why? What's the purpose of that condition? Your great-uncle's exact words, as written in his will, so they may hear the truth in the tick, so they may understand the weight. I am a lawyer, not a poet. I merely enforce the stipulations. The keys, the address.
And if we don't? If we say, thanks, but no thanks, we'd rather not have a creepy sleepover.
Then the estate and all its contents will be sealed in perpetuity. The building will be boarded up. Its secrets, if any, will remain within, and you will forfeit any claim. The choice is yours. We need to discuss this. Of course, but the clock, as they say, is ticking. The condition specifies tonight. I would advise you to decide before nightfall. The lane is difficult to find after dark.
This is insane. We walk in to ask about some old receipts, and we walk out as the proud owners of a clock shop, provided we do a mandatory ghost vigil.
It's not a ghost vigil. It's a legal stipulation. And think about it, Leo. His name was in the Oldfield records. He was connected. This shop, 17 Verity Lane, might hold answers, actual, tangible answers about what happened there.
Or it might hold a very clever, very dead old man's idea of a hilarious joke at the expense of his distant relatives. The weight? What weight? The weight of all the cuckoo clocks we now have to dust?
There's only one way to find out. We have the keys, we have the address, we have sleeping bags in the boot of the car from that camping trip we never actually went on.
You cannot be seriously considering this.
After the library, can you honestly tell me you're willing to walk away from a mystery this blatant? Hear the truth in the tick? That's not a joke, that's an instruction, a clue.
A long, defeated groan. I hate it when you use logic. Fine. But if we see one porcelain figurine start moving, I'm out. I don't care about the inheritance.
Deal. Now, let's find Verity Lane. The GPS says it's in the Old Quarter. The streets there are more like suggestions.
This is it. It's an alley. A glorified alley. Number 17. There.
2 car doors opening and closing. Footsteps on cobblestones. The shop front is pristine. The windows are clean, the brass fittings polished, but look at the other shops on the lane. They're shuttered, covered in grime. It's like this one is preserved in a bubble.
The sign above the door, Cresswell and Son, horologists, since 1780. There's no son. There was never a son. He never married.
Maybe the son was the craft itself, the legacy. Ready?
The heavy, rasping sound of a key turning in a stiff lock, a deeper, resonant clunk as the deadbolt retracts, the groan of a very old, heavy door swinging inward.
A wave of sound pours out, not one tick but hundreds, a chaotic, overlapping symphony of clockwork. Ticks, tocks, clicks, whirs, the gentle swing of pendulums, the soft grind of gears. It is immense, layered, and strangely alive.
Oh!
It's a cathedral of time.
They step inside. The door swings shut behind them with a soft, final thud, muting the outside world completely. They are enveloped in the sound.
The clock symphony continues, but the listener can now pick out distinct elements. The deep, authoritative boom, boom, boom of a grandfather clock, the frantic tick-tick-tick of a carriage clock, the melodic 5-note chime of a mantel clock resetting.
There must be 100 clocks in here, all running, all perfectly synchronized. But that's impossible. These are mechanical clocks. They drift. They need winding.
Look at them. They're all different eras. That one is Art Deco, that's a Victorian long case, that's a 1950s kitchen clock. They shouldn't even be compatible. But listen, the ticks are in sync. They're creating a rhythm.
It's making my teeth ache. My heart is trying to match the beat. This is wrong, William. This is deeply wrong.
It's a phenomenon, an impossible mechanical phenomenon. Uncle Alistair didn't just fix clocks, he harmonized them. To what end?
Sound under the ticking, a new sound, a soft, steady, metallic drip, like a single drop of water falling into a tin cup, but lower in pitch. Do you hear that? Underneath the ticking, a dripping sound. Plumbing? But it's too regular. It's another beat, a slower one. This way. Their footsteps are quiet on the wooden floor, almost swallowed by the clock chorus. The drip grows slightly louder as they move towards the back of the shop. It's coming from behind that curtain. The one with the symbol on it.
That's not a horologist symbol. It's an Ouroboros, a snake eating its own tail, the symbol of a cycle, of eternity.
Sound of a curtain being drawn back on a brass ring. It's not a clock. Not like the others. Before them is a machine. It stands as tall as a man, a complex skeleton of brass rods, silver gears, and glass vessels. In its center, a large, clear basin holds a thick, silvery liquid that looks like mercury, but moves like oil. A single heavy drop forms at the end of a slender spout above the basin, stretches.
It's a regulator, but not for keeping time. It's creating the time that all the other clocks follow. It's the conductor of this symphony. This is the grand complication from the receipt.
What is that liquid? It's beautiful and terrifying.
I don't know, but look at the base. There's an inscription. He reads, voice filled with awe and dread. Tempus non est numerus, sed ponderus. Time is not a number, but a weight.
The weight. That's what the will said. Understand the weight. This thing, it weighs time?
From the shadows of a doorway leading to a back room, a voice, thin and ancient, yet carrying over the ticking. The caretaker, he did not weigh it, he distilled it, and he paid for every drop. They spin around. An incredibly old woman stands in the doorway. She is frail, leaning on a cane, but her eyes are sharp, clear, and watchful. Who are you? I am Elada. I was your uncle's apprentice and his jailer, and now, it seems, I am your greeter. He said you would come, the ones who stirred the library. You've brought the scent of old stories with you. You know about the library? I know of all places where the fabric of what is wears thin. The library holds the silence between words. This place holds the silence between seconds. They are cousins, and Alistair, he made a bargain with that silence. What kind of bargain? To hear that story, you must stay the night, as the will demands. You must hear the shop breathe. You must listen to the pendulum's truth, and you must witness the witching hour, when the regulator feeds. Feeds? Feeds on what? On time itself, child. Stolen time, borrowed moments, the seconds shaved from a procrastinated decision, the minute lost in a daydream, the hour that slips away unnoticed, the small, wasted time of the city. It gathers here, it condenses, and the regulator distills it into that basin. That is the weight Alistair bore, the weight of stolen seconds. That's absurd. Time isn't a substance. It can't be collected. Can it not? Then why do you feel heavier in a dull meeting? Why does an hour of fear last longer than an hour of joy? Time has texture, weight. Alistair found a way to measure it, and then he found a way to harvest it. He called it the tiding, a tide of lost time. To what end? Why hoard it? He wasn't hoarding. He was paying a debt to the very void you encountered in your library. The silence feeds on stories, but it thirsts for time, raw, unlived potential. Alistair's machine was a filter, a way to give the silence a pure sustenance, to keep it docile, to keep it from breaking its cage. He was the jailer's jailer. The receipt from Oldfield, he adjusted the regulator for them. A week before the town fell silent, he tried to increase the flow, to give the silence a greater feast, to buy the town more years. He failed. The machine could not produce enough. The silence grew impatient and fed directly. He carried that failure until his dying day. It is the primary weight in that basin. And you've been here, tending this siphon. Someone had to. The clocks must not fall out of sync. The rhythm must be maintained. It is the heartbeat that keeps the harvest flowing. If it stops, then the tide of wasted time has nowhere to go. It pools, it stagnates, and then it attracts attention from things that swim in the deeper silences, things that would find a city worth of lost moments, a veritable banquet. So we're not just spending the night in a clock shop, we're babysitting a temporal sewage treatment plant that keeps Lovecraftian horrors from eating our procrastination. A crude but accurate summary. Your uncle believed you two, with your experience, might understand, might be able to choose, to take up the work or to shut it down. Shut it down? You just said that would be catastrophic. There is another way, to use the accumulated weight, all the time in that basin. It could be used to rewind, just a little, to correct one specific terrible moment. Alistair dreamed of using it to undo Oldfield, to give back the time the silence took. But it would drain the basin completely. The regulator would stop. The protection would cease. It is a choice between a slow, maintained vigil or one glorious, desperate correction. And then the things that swim come, or perhaps not. Perhaps the correction itself would alter the metaphysical landscape. It is a gamble, a terrible, world-changing gamble. Your uncle could not bring himself to make it. He left the choice to his heirs, to you. You're saying by staying here tonight, we're not just inheriting a shop, we're inheriting a cosmic decision? You are inheriting the truth in the tick. Listen to them. Really listen. Each tick is a captured second. Each talk is a heartbeat of the world, filtered through this machine. By dawn, you will understand the weight, and then you will choose. The old woman's cane taps as she retreats into the back room, leaving them alone in the symphony of ticking, underlaid by the steady, ominous drip of the regulator. William, I can hear it. It's not just a sound anymore. Inside the tick, there's a feeling, a whisper of boredom, a sigh of impatience, and in the talk, a moment of regret, a pang of anxiety. She's right. It's not just time. It's the emotional quality of the time that was lost. This isn't a machine. It's a prison for a million tiny griefs. What do? We do what the will says. We stay. We listen. We understand the weight. And then, God help us, we choose.
Recording again. It's just past midnight, the witching hour.
We're still in the shop, the front room. Elara, the caretaker, is in the back. She said she would not interfere, that we must witness this alone.
The clocks, the sound has changed. For the last few hours, we just sat and listened. And you were right, William. You start to hear them, not with your ears, in your memory. A tick is a forgotten appointment, a pang of guilt. A talk is a sigh over a bad cup of coffee, a moment of loneliness in a crowd.
It's oppressive. It's the ghost of a city's indifference, and it's all flowing towards that machine, the regulator.
Elara said the witching hour is when the tide is fullest, when the regulator processes the day's harvest. She told us to watch the basin. The drip stopped. The silver liquid. It's perfectly still. Like a mirror. No, not a mirror. A window. Look. The clocks are losing their sync. The rhythm is breaking down. The surface of the silvery liquid in the basin begins to swirl, slowly at first, then faster, forming a perfect shining vortex. It's pulling it all in, all the captured seconds. The vortex is getting deeper. I can see things, flashes. A man looking at his watch, annoyed. A child waiting, bored. A million tiny, wasting moments. It's not just processing. It's compressing, turning diffuse regret into a solid mass of lost time. Look at the center of the vortex. At the very bottom of the swirling liquid, a point of absolute darkness appears. It is not an absence of light. It is an absence of everything. A pinprick of void. That's it. That's the train, the siphon, where it all goes, to the silence. The hum rises to a painful whine. The hands on every clock in the shop begin to spin backwards, slowly at first, then in a blur. The air grows cold and thin, as if all the energy is being sucked into the vortex. It's feeding, right now, and we're seeing it. We're feeling it. My watch, the second hand is frozen. Time in here, it's becoming unmoored. Suddenly, from the vortex, a sound erupts, not through the air, but directly into their minds. It is the cacophony of all the wasted time at once, a deafening scream of sighs, frustrated taps, mental checklists, daydream fragments, and the hollow echo of procrastination. Make it stop. I can hear them all the thoughts that went nowhere. Gritting his teeth. It's the weight. This is the weight he carried every single day. As suddenly as it began, the mental cacophony ceases. The vortex collapses in on itself with a final soft glug. The pinprick of void vanishes. The silvery liquid in the basin is now perfectly calm and slightly diminished. It looks tired. Now you have seen, you have felt the pull, the vacuum. You understand the maintenance of the world is not always grand heroics. Sometimes it is this, a daily, quiet siphoning of sorrow to keep a greater sorrow at bay. How did he live with this? How do you live with this?
You make peace with the wait. You listen to the ticks, and you remember that each one is a small sadness that did not coalesce into a greater horror. It is a monk's vigil of a sort. And the alternative, using the accumulated time for a correction, you said he dreamed of undoing Oldfield. He did. The basin is now nearly full. A century's harvest. Enough potential energy, enough weight to create a localized temporal eddy, to turn back the clock just for that one valley, for that 1 month in 1899, to give them their time back, to warn them.
What would that look like? How does one use the time?
The regulator can be reversed. Instead of a siphon, it becomes a fountain. It would pour all that distilled time back out, not as a drip, but as a wave targeted by an intention. You would have to hold the intention, the specific moment you wish to rewrite, clearly in your mind as you trigger the release. And if our intention isn't strong enough, clear enough, then the time is wasted, poured into the ether. The basin is emptied for nothing. The protection fails, and we face the consequences of a stopped regulator with no gain to show for it.
So we have to be absolutely certain of the moment and of the choice.
There's more, isn't there? A price for the one who triggers it. A long, sad silence. Time is a weight. To lift it, to redirect it, requires a counterweight. A life lived in linear time has a certain momentum. To touch the stream directly, to try to bend it, puts immense strain on that momentum. Alistair believed it would cost the operator their own temporal anchor, their place in the timeline.
What does that mean, in plain English?
It means the person who turns the key might unravel. They might forget themselves, be forgotten, become a ghost in time, unstuck from their own past and future. It is a sacrifice of one's own story to save another. Of course it is. It's always a sacrifice. The library demanded stories. This demands a life.
So our choice is this. Option 1, we take over. We become the new caretakers. We live here, tend this awful machine, listen to the tick of stolen sadness every day, forever. Option 2, we gamble everything. We try to undo Oldfield. We risk unleashing unknown horrors if we fail, and one of us loses our very existence if we succeed. There is a third option. Walk away. Let the estate be sealed. You'd be locked in here. I am old. My time is my own. I have kept my vigil. I am prepared for an ending. The machine would wind down, slowly. It might take years for the protection to fully fade. You would have time to live your lives, blissfully unaware, until the end. You're offering to be sealed in a tomb with this thing, to die as its last keeper? It is a cleaner ending than Alistair had, and it gives you your freedom. A heavy silence, filled only by the ticking, which now sounds less like a symphony and more like the counting down of seconds to a decision.
We can't let you do that.
And we can't just walk away knowing what we know. Not again. The library changed us. It made us responsible for secrets. This is just a bigger secret.
So it's between perpetual maintenance or a catastrophic gamble.
Is it, though? Alara, you said the time is distilled potential. Could it be used for anything else? Not to rewrite the past, but to affect the present? To strengthen the cage around the silence now? An infusion. Not a correction, but a reinforcement. The theory is sound. The silence's cage is woven from certain resonant realities. A massive injection of pure temporal potential could, in theory, reinforce those weaves, make the cage stronger, perhaps for centuries.
But it would still drain the basin. The regulator would still stop. We'd still lose the ongoing protection.
Yes, but if the cage is made strong enough, the silence may not be able to breach it even without the daily feeding. It would be a permanent solution as opposed to a perpetual stopgap. But it is still a gamble. The calculations are theoretical.
So all three options are gambles. Maintain and hope we never slip, correct and hope we succeed without destroying ourselves, reinforce and hope the theory is right. There's no safe choice, only choices with different kinds of risk.
Then we choose the one that aligns with what we are. We're not monks, we're not martyrs. We're architects. We fix things, we reinforce. We don't just maintain broken systems, and we don't try to rewrite the past. We try to build a better future.
You want to use the time to fortify the library's cage, to lock the silence away for good.
It's the only choice that uses the tool for construction, not just consumption or regret. We take this weight of stolen sorrows and we use it to build a wall so no more sorrows have to be stolen. We end the cycle. That was a possibility Alistair never allowed himself to consider. He was too mired in the guilt of his failure to think of a future beyond it. You would need a clear, unified intention, a shared vision of the gauge, reinforced, impenetrable, and the one who channels the intention will still bear the brunt of the temporal recoil.
We'll share it. We did it in the library. We told a story together. We'll hold the intention together.
It will double the strain. It could unravel you both. Or it could have it. We're twins. We're already two halves of a whole. Our stories are linked. If we're going to be unstuck from time, better we be unstuck together.
A soft, resigned chuckle. When you put it that way, it sounds almost romantic. All right, we choose option 4, the architect's choice. We reinforce.
Then you must act now, before dawn, while the intention from witnessing the feeding is still sharp in your minds. You must stand before the regulator, place your hands upon its control levers, and together reverse the flow. I will guide you through the mechanics, but the intention, that must come from you. Sound, footsteps moving decisively towards the back room, the curtain drawn back again. The drip of the regulator is slow, lethargic.
The levers, they're frozen.
They have not been moved in a century. They will resist. You must pull together on my mark, and as you do, you must see the cage. See the library not as a hungry place, but as a sealed vault. See the silence bound, not just sated. We're ready. Place your hands. Now, pull. Sound, a horrific metallic shriek of protest as rusted, frozen mechanisms are forced to move against their designed purpose. The sound of intense strain from both speaker 1 and speaker 2. The symphony of ticks instantly descends into chaotic, jarring discord. Clocks stutter, chime at random, some grind to a halt. It's moving. Sound, the shrieking gives way to a deep, grinding roar as the machine's gears engage in reverse. The silvery liquid in the basin, instead of a vortex, begins to bulge upwards, forming a quivering dome. Now, the intention. Focus. A vault of stone and story.
Walls woven from the end.
A lock that is also a key, made of once upon a time.
A door that only opens to let new stories in, never to let the silence out. Alara, you're channeling it. It's working. Hold the vision.
I can see it. The library. The walls are shining.
The silence, it's pressing against the light, but it can't get through. Absolute, profound silence. Not a single tick. Not a breath of machinery. The last drop of silvery liquid falls from the spout into the now completely empty, dry basin. The regulator is still, dead. Alara, it is done. The tide is spent. The intention has flown. The gauge, we must hope it is now a prison with no door.
I feel thin, stretched, like I'm a pencil drawing that's been smudged.
Me too. My memories, they feel slippery. What year is it? Alara, that is the recoil. Your temporal anchors are strained, but you are both here. You held together. Dawn, the shop is so quiet. It is just a shop now, a museum of beautiful broken clocks. The work is finished. What about you? I will stay. I will tend the ghosts of the clocks, and I will listen. If the distant silence ever roars again, we will hear it here first. But I do not think we will. You built a good wall.
We need to go. I need to see the sun. I need to feel real.
Go. Live. The weight is lifted. Do not waste the time you have been given.
The air, it smells different, lighter. Look at the people. They're all in a hurry, wasting time. But now, it's just their time to waste. It's not being harvested. It's just life. We should check the library someday soon to see. Not today. Today, I just want to sit in a park and watch the seconds pass and own every single one of them. So that's it. The Clockmaker's last secret. We made our choice. We paid a price, a feeling of being slightly untethered, a shared sense of fragility in our own histories. But the silence is bound. The clocks had stopped their hungry ticking.
We don't know what the future holds. Maybe our wall will hold for 1,000 years. Maybe something else will find a different crack in the world. But for now, the wait is gone, and we are learning, for the first time, how to live in a world where time is a gift, not a debt.
So that's it. The Clockmaker's last secret. We made our choice. We paid a price, a feeling of being slightly untethered, a shared sense of fragility in our own histories. But the silence is bound. The clocks have stopped their hungry ticking.
We don't know what the future holds. Maybe our wall will hold for 1,000 years. Maybe something else will find a different crack in the world. But for now, the wait is gone, and we are learning, for the first time, how to live in a world where time is a gift, not a debt.
So that's it. The Clockmaker's last secret. We made our choice. We paid a price, a feeling of being slightly untethered, a shared sense of fragility in our own histories. But the silence is bound. The clocks have stopped their hungry ticking. Take care of your time, every second of it.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Truly, every episode feels special because you show up, listen, and make this community what it is. William and I pour our hearts into these conversations, and knowing that you're out there, tuning in, growing with us, and sharing your thoughts, it means more than we can ever say. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you of something important. This podcast isn't just something you listen to, it's something you're a part of. Your support helps us keep creating, keep improving, and keep bringing you deeper, better, more meaningful episodes every single week. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that subscribe button on your favorite platform. It helps us reach more people who'd love this content just as much as you do. And if you can, leave us a quick rating or review. It truly goes a long way. You can also follow us on social media, send us your questions, or share topics you want us to explore next. We love hearing from you, and your ideas often shape future episodes. Thank you again for being here. Stay curious, stay kind, and stay connected. Until next time, this is Sarah, signing off with gratitude and love. Don't forget, subscribe, share, and keep the conversation going. We'll see you in the next episode.
All right, everyone. Before we close out today's episode, I just want to take a moment to say a huge thank you. Seriously, you could be anywhere right now, but you chose to spend your time with us. That means everything. Every message, every share, every moment you tune in helps this podcast grow into something bigger than we ever imagined. Sarah and I are truly grateful for this community. This show exists because of listeners like you, and it continues because you keep showing up. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. We've got so many exciting stories, ideas, and discussions coming up, and I don't want you missing even a single one. Hit that subscribe button, follow us online, and stay connected with the conversation. And if you enjoyed today's episode, take just a few seconds to leave a rating or a short review. It helps more than you know. It pushes the podcast forward and helps new listeners discover our community. We always want to hear from you too. Drop your episode suggestions, your questions, or your thoughts. You inspire so much of what we create. All right, that's it for today. Thank you again for listening. Stay inspired, stay motivated, and remember to subscribe. This is William, signing off, and I'll see you in the next episode.